Hey, Raj Martin here from Billings, Montana. Good day and good morning wherever you're at. This is getting very interesting with the whistleblower. This is what they said X22 reports.
Blower identity being released to the public. Adam Schiff is now threatening ethics complaints against staffers who leaked the name of the whistleblower. Well, Matt Gaetz has ethics complaints against Adam Schiff. I guess Adam Schiff doesn't like it when other people leak information. He only likes it when he leaks information. And he will not stand for leaks, even though he's the master of leaks. Now, Rand Paul, he decided to take this to a whole new level.
Now, this is interesting. Rand Paul's got into this. Trump was in his state, Kentucky, on a rally. This gets very interesting.
Regarding the whistleblower. He said he will probably disclose the name of the whistleblower. He said, I'm more than willing to, and I probably will at some point. There is no law preventing anyone from saying the name. Paul went on to say, the whistleblower is actually a material witness completely separate from being the whistleblower because he worked for Joe Biden. He worked for the Joe Biden at the same time Hunter Biden was receiving $50,000 a month. So the investigation into the corruption of Hunter Biden.
So the connection with Hunter Biden and Joe Biden and getting paid by those individuals is interesting. Another wrench in the works.
Involves the whistleblower because he was there at the time. Did he bring up the conflict of interest? Was there a discussion of this? What was his involvement with the relationship between Joe Biden and the prosecutors? There's a lot of questions the whistleblower needs to answer. And he's absolutely right. We need to know who this is, and he needs to be questioned. He can't hand in written answers. And we can see already Trump, the Republicans, they're all saying absolutely not. If this person is accusing someone of doing something wrong, they need to testify live, period, the end. So Senator Rand Paul, he has blocked a Senate resolution backing protection for whistleblowers, adding that the legislation he introduced would make clear.
I want to show you on a
So he blocked a resolution in the Senate to protect the whistleblower. Interesting. The question is, why did that come up in the Senate?
Should be able to face his accuser. And absolutely right, he should be able to face his accuser. Now, other deep state players are now trying to stop the identity of the whistleblower from being revealed. And what's interesting about all of this is that this is letting everyone know who the deep state players are. They're all coming out and they're all speaking out about the identity of the whistleblower. This is from Paul Sperry. Breaking. Senator Feinstein joined Speaker Pelosi in warning Senator Rand Paul and other lawyers not to reveal identity of whistleblower and all his dirty laundry so the American people can judge his credibility and political motives for themselves and President Trump can confront his accuser. Now, Feinstein, she went and she put this whole list together of why you can't do this, it's against the law and all these other things.
So notice who's on whose side with this. This is a real dividing situation, to say the least. A dividing situation.
But Don Jr., he decided to do just that. He outed the whistleblower. In a tweet, responding to a Breitbart article, the title was, Alleged Whistleblower Eric Ciaramella Worked Closely with Anti-Trump Dossier Hoaxer. He just tweeted out, because, of course, he did. Alleged whistleblower Eric Ciaramella worked closely with Anti-Trump Dossier Hoaxer. So Don Jr. just put out the name to everyone, and it's going viral. Now, the mainstream media, they're telling their reporters, you better not reveal the whistleblower name. Paul Sperry tweeted out the...
Again, the media being complicit in this needs to be stopped. They need to be put in their place legally. I think this is all coming to a head sooner or later, legally.
Following. Breaking. CNN warning President Trump and Senator Rand Paul that revealing the whistleblower's name would break the law. But legal experts say federal whistleblower statutes do not offer blanket anonymity outside agency employing whistleblower. That protections are limited. He continued developing. The U.S. Constitution gives total immunity to any member of Congress who wants to out the whistleblower in the well of the Senate or House from breaking any whistleblower law or defamation or privacy law or whatever else Democrats are contending might apply in this case. Then we have the whistleblower's attorney. Back in 2017, he tweeted out something very interesting, and it sounds very similar to the Strzok and Page text. Now, this is a tweet back in 2017. Mr. Dirt put this out there. So let me read the first tweet here. Virginia Barnett. Mark, are we really going to be able to get him out? He is dismantling our government department by department. It is really scary. Mark S. Zaid. It's very scary. We will get rid of him. And this country is strong enough to survive even him and his supporters. We have to. I mean, think about what he just said there. We are going to get rid of him. This is what Strzok and Page said. Also on July 1st, 2017, Mark S. Zaid tweeted out the following. Since January 20th, I would much rather be in Canada. What a great country. We'll be great again when Donald Trump leaves. So this individual is the lawyer for the whistleblower. And you can see where his mindset is. His mindset is to get rid of Trump at all costs. And what we're watching here is this entire scripted show play out. This was designed a while ago, and they're following the script. They can't deviate from the script because they don't know anything else. They don't know how else to proceed. And it's very difficult to follow the script when the phone transcript was released because it doesn't make sense. Now, since the phone transcript was released, the quid pro quo thing is not going anywhere because everyone can read the phone transcript and say, I don't see it. Where is it? Even though these individuals are testifying who've never listened into the call, who heard it from second sources, who heard it from the mainstream media, there is no quid pro quo. So what are they doing? The same thing they did with Russian collusion, with obstruction. They changed the wording. So no longer is it quid pro quo. It's extortion and bribery. This is going to be another big fail. This is coming out of CNN. We keep using the word quid pro quo, but the accurate word here is bribery and extortion. Those are criminal charges.
So again, they're going to bring this up and change the wording, and they're going to change the charges. So where's all this going to play out? Where's it going to end up? In court. Showing whose head's on what side of the line. I'm not sure. But it's going to play out one way or another. It appears. The line is clearly drawn for and against the whistleblower. Why? Why isn't there more justice? That's the question that keeps bothering the hell out of most people. Where's the justice in this country? Is it totally gone? Or just taking longer to get justice served? Don't know.
Representative Garamendi reacts to Gordon Sondland's revised impeachment inquiry testimony. Well, you can call it whatever you want. It doesn't exist. And this is the problem they're having with it. So they're trying to make it sound a lot worse than it really is. Quid pro quo is not working. So let's call it bribery and extortion. But you need to prove that. And once again, they have no proof. Mitch McConnell lets everyone know that Nancy Pelosi and Adam Schiff, what they're doing, it is not working. Mitch McConnell said the Senate would acquit Trump if the impeachment trial were held today. He said, I will say I am pretty sure how it's likely to end. If it were today, I don't think there is any question it would not lead to a removal. What does that tell you? They hit a roadblock, and they know it.
Is there any doubt in anybody's mind that we live in a very dark judicial system? Very dark, to say the least. So what are they going to do with all this stuff? I don't know, but what is clear in my mind is that we are in serious trouble judicially. The GOD and the federal government legally is very corrupt in the judicial system. In the civil battle, the war going on between the white and the black hats, the deep state is very, very deep and very divisive, to say the least.
It's falling apart right in front of their eyes. And what we're watching is the famous wrap-up smear tactic. Remember, according to Nancy Pelosi, this is how it's done. The accuser passes false accusations to partisan media. Partisan media blasts out accusation. Original accuser reports, others are reporting the same. Then repeat. It's the wrap-up smear. Period. The end. Now, very interesting with the Flynn case, that also is falling apart right in front of our eyes. And Sidney Powell, she is hitting them hard. Prosecutor Brandon Van Grack sent a letter to Flynn's defense team today containing a stunning, almost impossible to comprehend admission of a mistake central to the claims of the prosecution. In March 2018, the FBI presented notes taken by agents Pienka and Strzok. Now they say they made a mistake. For almost 2 years, the Department of Justice misidentified, misattributed, and never corrected that the authors of the Flynn interview notes were actually reversed. All of the notes attributed to FBI agent Peter Strzok actually were taken by FBI agent Joseph Pienka, and vice versa. Do you believe this? I do not. So
something's going on here. They're hitting hard and they're lying on what's done. Again, how are we going to clean this mess up when this damn judicial system is so corrupt in the high levels? In the FBI, DOJ, CIA. There's no end of the crap here.
entire FBI case against Flynn, meaning the central element that he lied to the FBI investigators, which he didn't, is predicated on the FD 302 interview reports generated by the two FBI agents later discovered to have been edited and shaped and approved by Andrew McCabe. And for almost 2 years, the entire outline of their documented evidence has been misattributed. I mean, is anyone really buying any of this? No. Retired FBI agent Lyndon Rary explains with a tweet. Agents' notes are placed into a Form 1A envelope, the face of which is normally filled out by the agent who took the notes, and the note taker will usually include the name and date on the notes, whose writing was on the 1A envelope. And still, why are there two sets of notes? I'll add another question or two. What was the date on the 1A envelope? And when was the envelope actually serialized and placed into the file? Okay, here's another one for Sidney Powell. Did they give you a copy of the 1A envelope or envelopes? Sidney Powell responded, it's high on the list of what we've been demanding. How deep is Van Grack going to dig his grave? Sidney Powell continued. So let me get this straight. Van Grack has given us false or wrong information in a federal court proceedings for 18 months, but General Flynn is supposed to be a felon for a made-up false statement from an ambush interview FBI had no legal basis to conduct. It's now impossible to take the Department of Justice FBI word for anything. Imperative now more than ever that all original documents be produced, the entire FBI file and sub-files, handwriting samples of both agents, metadata, audit trail, everything. This is ridiculous, and case should be dismissed.
There we are. Go get him, Sidney. Sidney Powell says it just flat out. It's impossible to take the DOJ, FBI word for anything. Period. That the whole thing, all these documents, all these files, and all this metadata all this stuff should be dismissed. Wow.
Absolutely. Now we're getting to the heart of it all. We're showing the American people this entire Mueller push, the entire push from the deep state, how they proceeded with this case. By lying, by tricking, by falsifying, and now the people are seeing this. Unbelievable. Now, this is really curious. According to several media reports, Bill Barr is scheduled to have a meeting today with Senator Lindsey Graham for an update on the Horowitz-Durham investigation. Senator Lindsey Graham, chairman of the Senate Judiciary Committee, plans to meet with Barr to talk about the report's planned rollout. Then we have this tweet from Manu Raju, and it says something very, very interesting. Former GOP Representative Dana Rohrabacher spotted in the Capitol. Is this a coincidence? Didn't we just mention Representative Dana Rohrabacher when we were talking about Assange? Didn't this individual talk to Julian Assange, and Julian Assange told this individual that the DNC was not hacked, that the DNC was not hacked by Russians? Do you think this is just a coincidence that Dana Rohrabacher is now visiting the Capitol, that this individual is there? Remember, this individual lost his seat. Why is he there? I do believe that Durham and Barr, they're getting all the information. They're getting prepared and ready. Now, as we know, Project Veritas released the undercover story that had to do with ABC Amy Rohrabacher.
I just did this report yesterday from InfoWars. Listen to this.
Report on Epstein. There was an undercover individual producer who was recording when Amy Rohrabacher said, we had all the evidence on Epstein, we had the Clintons, we had photographs, we had everything. And James O'Keefe was surprised that AOC retweeted this entire undercover report. Then James O'Keefe says, wow, AOC unretweeted the video of ABC Epstein cover-up video. She suddenly decided this story didn't matter. Now, the question is, did she realize what she was retweeting? Did someone speak to her? Because that's kind of odd to backtrack on this. I think she started to realize where this story came from, who's implicated, and said, oh, you know what? I got to unretweet this. And I believe someone spoke to her. Now, down at the border, we understand that the drug cartels, there was an incident where a lot of individuals were killed, women, children. And Tiffany Fitzhenry tweeted out the following. Red pill. Woman killed in Mexican cartel murders had alleged NXIVM ties. Black pill. NXIVM, Mexican drug cartels. The Finders and Jeffrey Epstein are all linked and all tied to the CIA. It's all.
Wow. This crap is coming out everywhere. And I mean it's crap. We've talked before about NXIVM. We've talked before about the CIA. We've talked before about the links with Epstein. Wow. What can I say?
All coming together. All the pieces are coming together. And this is why the wall is going up. This is why Trump has the Border Patrol arresting individuals. This is why people have to go through the port of entry, because it's all part of it. And speaking about human trafficking, Trump just did something else. The federal government will no longer use taxpayer dollars for educational and cultural exchange programs with Cuba, Russia, Syria, and North Korea. Now, why did Trump decide to do this? Well, because this is in response to these countries' egregious human trafficking abuses or negligence in prosecuting criminals trafficking people in their country. The State Department has designated all 4 countries, Tier 3 countries, for significant risks of human trafficking crimes, which allows the president to unilaterally restrict non-humanitarian aid at his discretion.
So again, they're going after this human trafficking and this sex trafficking and his presidential orders on this. It's all coming together. Wow.
Now, just like with all other federal funds, where do you think this money was going? To help human trafficking. Trump is shutting the deep state down. And if we go back to Q's post, Q mentioned Syria, North Korea, Cuba. Access now denied. And now Trump is shutting down the funds. The deep state is in trouble. Now, very interesting. We talked about whistleblowers and the fake impeachment and everything like that. But out in Syria, we're starting to realize and understand, and we kind of knew this, that the OPCW, they suppressed evidence regarding alleged chemical weapons. Actually, they lied to help the deep state. And now there are whistleblowers that are coming forward saying, yeah, all the evidence that they produced, it was fake evidence. And it was not Assad. It was...
Again, lies with the media, lies with what's going on. It gets so bad that you don't know what the hell is true and what isn't. And this is where the president's mind is, keeping track of really what's going on. Because our media has become such a propaganda arm for the deep state.
Was who? Oh, wait, the terrorists that were using chemical weapons on the people of Syria. It's amazing how the truth comes out after the fact. And the OPCW, they were suppressing evidence. And they were trying to make it seem like it was Assad to push the deep state agenda. Trump tweeted out the following. Just had a very good call with President Erdogan of Turkey. He informed me that they have captured numerous ISIS fighters that were reported to have escaped during the conflict, including a wife and sister of terrorist killer al-Baghdadi. Also talked about their border with Syria, the eradication of terrorism, the ending of hostiles with Kurds, and many other topics. Looking forward to seeing President Erdogan next Wednesday, November 13th, at the White House. Basically, what Trump and the Patriots are doing right now, they're shutting down the deep state out in the Middle East. Syria, Lebanon, Libya. They're shutting them down in North Korea, ending all funding in Cuba, Syria, and the rest of the countries. And what are the Patriots doing? They're allowing the deep state to completely expose themselves, allowing them to play out the script. This is why Trump put out the phone transcript. He wanted the American people to watch not just Adam Schiff and Pelosi, all those who are involved, all those who are going to change their testimony. Watch the mainstream media and how they try to spin everything and how the wrap-up smear tactic works. This is about exposing all these individuals. And we are now getting word that there's going to be a report coming out right before the IG Pfizer report. This one is in stealth. Now they're expecting the IG Pfizer report maybe to come out before Thanksgiving. Now again, this could be disinformation. But it's interesting that they're mentioning a stealth report coming out before that. And I do believe they're feeding this to the deep state. They want them to make a move. And while the deep state is busy doing all this fake impeachment stuff, what are the Patriots doing in the background? They're pushing their agenda with the criminal investigations, with the Pfizer report, with everything else. And the mainstream media, the deep state, they're very busy handling this fake impeachment. All eyes are off what the Patriots are doing. Brilliant. And that brings us to what Trump has just done. He has now confirmed, actually, I should say Congress has now confirmed 157 federal judges who will uphold our Constitution as written. What did Trump?
Wow, 157 judges will confirm U.S. Constitution as written. How many of those are won't? But we need to increase that number. Battle lines in this are clearly being drawn, and that's probably more important news than anything else. If they can hold to that. If they can hold to that.
Trump and the Patriots doing? They're changing federal judges around the country. Why? How are you going to prosecute the criminals? How are you going to hold trials? Trials that are fair. If you have the deep state in place, you will not get fair trials. If you replace the judges with those judges that are going to uphold the Constitution as written, you will then have fair trials. Trump and the Patriots, they're setting all of this up.
All right, so this is key. We're going to end it here. But this is full report. It's one of the better ones I've had out in a while. Again, it's Roger Mark from Village, Montana. The battle deepens. The battle with the cleaning up the DOJ, getting constitutional judges out, getting these people exposed, getting the trials coming. It's all part. Trump will get reelected, I am sure of it, and this battle will go on. It'll probably go on after Trump has finished his second term as well. It's Roger Mark from Village, Montana. Join the fight cause, puts pressure on.